It's just really exciting to be able to harvest most of what you eat within the first couple of months of even trying to do this kind of thing. It's really mind-blowing, and that's the kind of thing that we're trying to get across to people. It's really possible, and
it's easy. It doesn't take money. You don't have to know anything yet. You just have to want to do it and put in the work, the time, and the effort. You love all the plants.
And the plants will grow themselves. I mean, you just gotta love them a little bit, but mostly they know what they're doing. They've been doing it forever, and you just have to give them a little home. In November, I decided that I wanted to get into gardening, and it's really hard to get into a lot of the closed community gardens in the city. So I decided to walk around near where I lived. I walked over here and found that almost the entire city block is vacant, and talked to some people on the block about trying to set up a garden. They all thought it was a really good idea. So right away, me and some friends started clearing out the lots.
These are vacant lots, and basically how they become vacant lots is people they condemn the house and collapse it into its own basement, a foundation.
There were mattresses and carpets and toilets and like all sorts of crazy things that had been dumped here for many years, and head-high weeds. So we just cleared it all out, and I started trying to talk to the city about getting leases for the lots, because the Department of Public Property owns 8 of the 25 lots that are vacant on this block. So I applied to get leases for a garden, and was leased 4 of the lots, which is pretty good. Most of the other lots here we're actually squatting on up. We just started planting things out and designing the space, and after only 4 months or so, we have a ton going on.
We kind of had the idea of having a very different approach of planting inside of an urban setting that most people do. We didn't want to build boxes. We wanted everything to be organic in shape and form, and basically planting in the ground, thinking that if we have this soil, we should be using it, we should be working towards fixing it. And that's where we've been heading. Right now we have basically perennials and annuals planted out in here, and we're working towards the long-term goal, 4 or 5 years or something, like basically having a perennial food forest built up. So we'll have fruit trees overshadowing an ecosystem of perennial herbs and vegetables that will pretty much take care of themselves once we get all the mugwort and everything out of here, and just basically come up with something that takes care of itself.
We have a rainwater harvesting system that can hold 330 gallons of water that comes off of one person's roof. We also have a permit from the water department to use the fire hydrant at the end of the block, but we're trying to eventually get to the point where we have all the water we need just from people's roofs. We're trying to set up another system on the block that's similar to that.
Compost. I am the self-proclaimed compost king. We have 2 compost bins that we have built out of pallets, so it's a pallet by a pallet wide, that's the dimensions, a pallet squared. And we've filled it up with vegetable scraps from people on the block, diverting their garbage, diverting ours, and everyone that we know is now bringing their compost down here. And I turn it once a week, and in 4 months, we have made perfectly viable soil, which is really exciting.
And we used it today.
We used it today on the hugelkultur bed, a raised bed made out of sticks and dirt. And then we also have plans before the end of the summer to have a compost toilet down here, so people can do the business while they're down here working, because we don't have a toilet right now. And that's really exciting. We'll have hopefully a 2-chamber system that works, and we can not have to leave every time nature calls.
And just recently we've started harvesting a lot of our own food from here. We have a lot of broccoli and kale and turnips and radishes and sorrel. We've had some strawberries, and we've been giving away some things to people on the block.
Kind of what we try to tap into with our the work days, the work parties that we have, is that doing this stuff is not difficult. You can jump right in, and you can be in charge of your own project within 5 minutes. So basically we have like an equal commitment to like having a good time and getting a lot of work done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of breaks and pauses for conversations and listening to music and also just side conversations about what the plants are and what the so-called weeds are and what their medicinal uses are and their edible uses. So there's a lot of learning and exchanging that goes on these work days that are just not in the classroom pace, just in kind of a fun, curiosity-driven pace, which is one of the things about starting to have a new culture is that be a huge central part of it, just having a good time.
Drop out the necessity for ownership and who's in charge. Basically, I mean, we're kind of heading this up because we have a lot of time that we're putting into it. We're fairly obsessed, but a lot of people come and just want a space, and it's theirs. This is everybody's garden. It's not ours, and nobody's in charge. You can't really make a mistake. You can just figure out that you wouldn't do it that way again,
And learn.
Just trying to let people know that it's okay to get out there and do things and make mistakes. Just be excited about things.